We may not generally think of questioning as a communication technique, but questions can be very useful at directing conversations and reaching concrete conclusions. The better we get at asking questions, the better answers we will receive. Today, we're going to look at 4 different question types: closed, open-ended, leading, and reflective. Closed questions are direct and generally require short answers or yes or no answers. In comparison, open-ended questions encourage detailed feedback and are often used to create conversation. Now, leading questions are specifically phrased to elicit a particular response. Say you ask somebody, "Isn't this cake delicious?" They are likely to agree. Reflective questions encourage thought and elaboration. Now that we've gone through a quick overview of the different question types, let's look at each one in detail and really learn how we can apply them effectively. Closed questions are often used to gather factual information, like asking someone, "When is your birthday?" Or closed questions evoke a yes or no reply. Since the answers are relatively straightforward, these questions are easy to answer, you don't need to elaborate, and therefore the answers are short and to the point. Sometimes, closed questions are also used as conversation starters, like, "Where are you originally from?" They can also be used to conclude or summarize a discussion, like at the end of a team meeting, asking everybody, "Are we all on the same page about the next steps?" Here are some characteristics of open-ended questions. Open-ended questions stimulate and encourage conversation. They can be used to direct the flow of a conversation and gather more insight and information on the topic at hand. These questions typically start with how, why, when, where, what, who, or which. Let's have a look at some examples. Where is the conference hall? Why did you take so long to write the report? What did you think of the meeting yesterday? Leading questions are phrased to indicate the desired response. Often, we don't realize or intentionally ask a leading question, but they can actually be used strategically. If you watch any legal shows on TV, lawyers often ask leading questions to guide a witness to a specific answer. In reality, this type of questioning is not encouraged in a court of law because such questions can influence the answers that are given. Here's an example. If you say, "Were you in a meeting at 7 p.m. on 5th July?" Although this question is actually a closed question, it's also a leading question because it suggests that the person wants a response confirming that they were indeed in a meeting on the given time and date. The same question could be rephrased as, "Where were you at 7 p.m. on 5th July?" allowing the person to respond freely and elaborate on his whereabouts without being influenced. Reflective questions are open-ended questions that require a person to think about their answer before responding. They can be very useful to gather important feedback. Here are some examples. What did you learn about the client during the meeting? What are the core skills required for this job? Why do you think we should hire an assistant manager? As established previously, questions can be used to direct the flow of a conversation. We have already discussed the 4 main types of questions. Now let's see how to incorporate these into a conversation. Let's look at this conversation in parts. As the questions appear, follow them up by reading out the answers aloud and identify the question type. Now you should have a good idea about how asking specific types of questions can help to kickstart, steer, and conclude a conversation so that it remains on track. So what have we discovered? Questioning can be an effective communication technique. Specific questions can be used to direct conversation flow. We have learned about the four main types of questions: closed, open-ended, leading, and reflective. Depending on the information we want, we can use specific question types to help ensure that we get the best answer possible.